Good afternoon and welcome to the Law Firm Mechanics Live. I'm Andre Young. I go by AT. I am a solo practitioner in Orlando, Florida. My primary practice areas are estate planning, probate, commercial business real estate, as well as personal injury.
And good afternoon. I am attorney Nikie Lomax. I am a senior attorney and chief legal strategist at the Contimore Law Firm. Welcome to the Law Firm Mechanics Live. We have some great information to share with you today.
Awesome. As you all probably know, since you're already following us, Law Firm Mechanics is a proudly minority owned business that was started this year. Our mission is to help busy attorneys manage anxiety, the overwhelm of running your own firm, and the infinite business challenges that arise on a day to day basis. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about targeting your ideal client and your niche. Nick, you want me to jump in or you want to start?
Well, I'll let you start, but I want to say make sure that you're following us on all our social media so you'll be able to get all the tips that we give out during the week.
Awesome. I could not agree more. So let's start. I think it's very important that you take the time to actually identify and define what your ideal client is. I think it's going to make capturing or targeting that individual or group of individuals much easier. And so you got to take some time. Unfortunately, I know that's hard to do when you're running your own firm, but take some quiet times, block some time on your schedule to sit down and really be strategic about what it is exactly you want your firm to look like and what those clients look like, and then literally define that client: gender, age, socioeconomic status, occupation if it's relevant, marital and family status if that's relevant, um, certainly where they live and where they're going to contact with you. I think you should go a step further as well. Let's talk about their personality, their characteristics, potentially, especially how you may connect with them on those levels, habits, their likes, their dislikes, what their lifestyle is like. So I think that's the first tip I would like to give is for you to sit down and like to be intentional about defining what your ideal client is. And I'll punt, Nikki.
Okay, so with that, I think when you're looking to define your ideal client, one, you need to figure out what your areas of law are going to be. So, if you have a particular niche that you want to focus on, that will help you narrow the scope of what your ideal client needs to look like because a personal injury client is going to look different than a family law client or an estate planning client. So, when you're trying to figure out your ideal client, you also need to determine whether or not you're going to narrow the scope of your firm to a particular practice area or a few particular practice areas, and that's going to help you define what your ideal client looks like. So, for example, at Contimore Law is a boutique family law firm. So, we are looking specifically for clients who need assistance with divorces and child support or paternity actions. And so those clients are going to be searching for us in particular places. So when we look at defining what an ideal client looks like, you know, we're going to look to see people who have children. Number one, when you're looking at paternity matters, child support cases, those are going to be people who have children. So, how would you necessarily target those clients? And so, you really need to figure out what's the scope of your practice areas so you can narrow your focus in on what's your ideal client. Now, I know for me, an ideal client is someone who can pay my retainer. Um, Ideally, without a payment plan. I want a client, and he's laughing because I constantly talk about because the only way you're going to grow your business is if your business is making money. And so you need clients that are going to be able to pay your retainer fee. So that's important. A lot of times you may get calls and people say, well, wow, that's a high retainer fee. Okay, so when people say that to me, That's not my ideal client. But you know what? There are so many attorneys out here. There's another attorney in their budget, so you can happily refer that person to someone who charges less than you. But stick with your ideal client, because I can tell you, if you stray from that picture that you have your ideal client, then you'll end up being more upset later. So you decided to take a client who couldn't pay your initial fee, so you decided to give them a payment plan, but then they can't meet the payment plan. But you're in the case, and now you've racked up all these billable hours that you're not going to get paid for. So having an ideal client and sticking with that is going to serve you in the long run. And I know sometimes it's hard to say, no, let me refer you out. But trust me, you won't be kicking yourself later if you wait for your ideal client, because you also end up spending time, a lot of time, on clients who aren't your ideal clients, because there may be a personality issue that you overlooked because you wanted to just get in a new case.
I'm
Would
going to
you?
reiterate what she said about staying true to yourself. If you start taking clients that aren't really in within the scope of what your ideal client base are, you're going to be beholden to that, and there are going to be frustrations and disappointments that come with that, mainly because you don't have the faith in yourself and in your business to stick to your guns. So I have done it. I'm not judging. I'm telling you from a place of experience and regret. She's absolutely right. So be true to yourself, and in sticking to what you want your ideal client to be in. Like she said, be a blessing to somebody else. Forward that client to somebody who may not be as advanced as you, who may not be as competent as you, and is charging a lower rate so that they can uh, assist that person. Um, I'll take another step, but I think you need to also really be specific in your marketing and targeting efforts as to why that ideal client needs you. What is it that you offer? And that's why I spoke to habits, lifestyle, personality, because I think that will assist you in targeting your ideal client, and showing them how you align or your practice aligns with them, and why you're so ideal to work together. Um, and I would also like to say there are a lot of strategies to find your ideal client. I know for myself, it's very, very important to work with other entrepreneurs. I'm actually going to lunch when I jump off this live with a financial planner. His business and mine's align. He's got clients that need legal services to help them with the financial plan that he's put in place, and I happen to offer those legal services. So it's a very, very organic relationship for he and I to meet and work together, maybe do a seminar or symposium to both of our clients, pitching both of our joint services, and hopefully we both will reap some reward from those efforts. You need to, I would say, also sit down and write out a list of people that you think are your target clients, and don't just write the list. I know Letitia is probably watching and is going to pat me on the back for this. Don't just write the list, contact them. There are probably organizations that your ideal clients are members of. Don't just identify the organizations, join them. And then lastly, there are events that your ideal clients attend. You need to get out of your comfort zone and go to those events, because that's where you're going to be able to establish some rapport and contact with your ideal clients, and hopefully capture them for your firm.
I agree with that. A lot of times we tend to rely on one source of marketing and that's it. But you are your brand. So you kind of got to just get out there and put yourself in the midst of people who can send you referrals. And I used to tell people this all the time. I love referrals, but I really love people that can pay me. So um, I don't want people just sending me, like, they are having a casual conversation and someone says, "Oh, I need a lawyer for this," and they just say, "Well, call Nikie." and I'll get a lot of calls, but those calls aren't as fruitful as they need to be because the person, one, A, may not have any money, or B, may not need my service, my particular services, but they didn't know what type of attorney they needed. So I like referrals, and I tell people all the time, give referrals out, but try to make sure people know exactly what you do. Because if people don't know what you do, they will just refer people to you, and that may not even be your practice area. And you'll spend time trying to help people with issues that aren't in your purview, or you'll have to try to just refer them out because a friend sent them. You want to make sure you send them to someone that can assist them. But just be mindful that you let people know what it is that you're doing so they can too send you your ideal client. Because I am quick to say, somebody is like, well, I got a friend that need an attorney, and my next question is it what I do, and do they have any money? Because and I'm all about, I do pro bono work, but my firm is a for-profit business. So first and foremost, we're in this to make money. So our goal is to help you figure out how to make money. And one of those things is get your ideal client in the door.
Awesome. Well, that's about our time for today. We hope that what we this tidbit has been beneficial to you. We would really appreciate if you would like, follow, and subscribe to our social media channels, YouTube channel, and our other, like I said,
Instagram, Law
I'm
Firm
sorry,
Mechanics on our IG. We drop gems on there all the time.
all the time.
And so we do have a seminar coming up in December. So stay tuned. You do not want to miss it.
Absolutely. We look forward to seeing you there. Have a blessed rest of your day.